Duval! That's right. The Jags did it. Third greatest comeback of all time, 31-30. And this is what football is all about. If this shit right here didn't get you hype or make you fall in love with the game of football, I don't know what is. This is what football is all about. This is what they say when they say any given Sunday, right? Anybody knows me, I'm always that guy that's like, yo, there's time left. I mean, I know it looks bad, but, there's still time left. You never know. I'm always waiting to see something great. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. This one was bad. It was so bad for the first time I thought about just turning the game off at halftime. I experienced every emotion. I went from hype to angry to embarrassed and ashamed to hype again to proud. Okay. And we have to start with the first half. Let me break off, obviously the negatives, which was I didn't love the game plan coming into the game. And for more reasons than one. We came out trying to throw the ball all over the Chargers, and I don't understand why. The Chargers were one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. Why we didn't establish the run. Why we didn't, kind of keep it simple, stupid for Trevor. And it's not all on Doug Peterson because Doug Peterson's scheme is very quarterback friendly, right? He likes to give you a lot of quick reads, multiple options so that if this guy's not open, this is open here. If this guy shifts here, then this is open over here. And it seemed to me that Trevor Lawrence locked on the guys and just didn't let go. And it led to 3 first quarter interceptions, one of the worst halves of football I've ever seen in my life. 4 interceptions in the first half, 5 total turnovers by the Jaguars, and I was fucking embarrassed. I was the most embarrassed, and we have had some bad Jacksonville Jaguar teams, but for us to go out there on a nationally televised game in the playoffs, fighting for respect, and I just talked about how what I want the most is legitimacy, and that this year I thought they were proving legitimacy. I thought they were undoing all of that in one game, and I was livid. I needed explanations. How do you guys think this guy's generational? Where do we go from here? This is bullshit. I went through every emotion in the first half, and I don't think anybody can blame me for it because I don't think you could have a worse first half. With that being said, I think Travis Etienne only ran the ball 6-7 times in the first half, which was inexplicable. I thought it took them way too long to try to just get Trevor to establish something positive. I kept screaming, get the ball to Travis Etienne, get the ball to Evan Ingram. These are our mismatches. They can't stop the run, and Evan Ingram's a mismatch every time he's on the field. He's one of the best, most athletic tight ends in the NFL. He's a wide receiver at 6'3", 6'4", with tight end size that runs a 4.4. Do you understand how rare a combination of size and speed that is? He is the guy that can help spring you. And after that disaster of a first half, they finally established something positive, got a touchdown, went into the half 27-7, and clearly spoke to a medium, hit God with the Lord, it's me again. I don't know what they did at halftime, but it came out when you're playing that bad. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in a bad place just in your life, right? When you hit rock bottom, okay? And I think some of us have and maybe can relate to this. And I'm only going to speak for myself, but there's something therapeutic about hitting rock bottom. And Ruben, what are you talking about? Well, what I mean is when you really hit rock bottom and you deal with the embarrassment of people seeing you in that position, there's literally nowhere else to go but up. You finally let go of trying not to be that embarrassment because you're already embarrassed now. Now it's just deal with it, right? It's the I'm here. It's where do we go from here? I'm no longer trying to avoid the embarrassment. I'm just living in it now. That's what I felt like the Jaguars did at half because they came out like a brand new team. And they did a couple things. They established the run. Travis Etienne, I believe, ended up with 14 more carries. They hit Evan Ingram. It helped spring a lot of other things because then once Evan Ingram got going, Christian Kirk got going. Marvin Jones caught a touchdown. Zay Jones popped free. The offense got cooking, and as much grief as I gave Trevor Lawrence in the first half, he deserves that much more adulation in the second half. And, I still don't know about the generational. Like, that's still on the board, but he's growing on me. This is a win that definitely helps me feel positive things towards him. Not that I did it in the past, but I'm still not ready to go with I love this kid yet. But I do feel like, and some people think that when I say that, some people think that I'm saying he's trash, and that's not the case. I just think he needs more help than, for instance, like a Joe Burrow, and I've always mentioned that. He's a guy that needs help. Like he's not a guy like you remember Tom Brady didn't need much, right? He's not exactly what I would consider a force multiplier. I guess is the best way to put it. And so we went out and we got him new receivers, Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, and things improved this year. Got him an offensive-minded head coach. Got him some good offensive coaching, and I think a lot of that showed his head in the second half. The Jaguars have been great at making second half adjustments, which I wish they would come out better. And it's funny because in the first half of the year, we were coming out guns blazing and running up points on people. Like I can make a real argument that we could have won 12, 13 games this year because we had so many leads going into the fourth quarter or going in late in the second half, and we would relinquish them. Well, the second half of the season, it seemed to have kind of reversed where, we might not be starting as quick or we're going tit for tat, but we started learning how to finish games. I think you're seeing a team evolve and grow right before your very eyes. That's why it was great that we made the playoffs, because a lot of times you'll see these teams that they're not the same team they were in the first half of the season, but because they didn't make the playoffs, you have to wait till next year to see what happens. And so this year we got the luxury to see what's happening. And next year we got Calvin Ridley coming in, and I foresee problems. You don't want to come to Duval and see this team anymore. This is a team that's going to strap up and hit you, and they're going to score points. And they're only going to get better. Now, second half, like I said, they did their thing. Trevor Lawrence ended up with 4 touchdowns. Travis Etienne had 100 yards and a critical fourth down that they did on 4th and 1 that felt like, I don't remember what the situation was with our timeouts off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure we needed this or it was practically game over. And so Doug Peterson actually used the timeout. So yeah, definitely sure we had to have this. Pulled out a T formation, and Travis Etienne not only got the first down, he took it like 20 some odd yards to put us in field goal range to kick the walk-off field goal. Now, a couple things I didn't love about this play was, and I'm glad it worked, but if you watch that replay, Zay Jones, if I'm telling the truth, he held the player at the end of the line. Watch Zay Jones, number 7. He hooks a guy. I was shocked. I couldn't even get hyped because I thought the hook was so bad that there was no way there was no flag, but they didn't call it. And the other thing is I'm not a fan of running plays that wide on 4th down. I think good teams take what they want. I know a lot of people were like, oh, so you were just sneaking even though everybody's expecting it up the middle. Yes, I would, because I believe that first off, shame on Doug Peterson for getting rid of James Robinson or a running back like James Robinson, because now we lack punch in the running backs. So when it comes to next year, I fully expect them to get them a big kind of bell cow type of running back to help with Travis Etienne because you need a power mover, and Travis Etienne is not it. But even if you didn't think Travis Etienne was going to get it, I would have snuck it. When you spend the kind of money you spent on Scherf and you draft Fortner, what nobody talks about is we have one of the bigger O-lines in the league. Okay, Scherf is like 6'6", over 300 pounds. Fortner's like 6'6" as well, over 300 pounds. I believe all our linemen are 6'5" and above. And these are big dudes. If you can't get you a yard, then you might, I believe the good teams take what they want. Now, what we have gotten in the field goal range that remains to be seen. But there was a lot of time left. And it's just my personal preference. If Zay Jones doesn't hold that guy, I think that lineman at least gets upfield far enough where Etienne might have to take a step back or a juke or something like that, or hesitate at all. And it would have allowed the free runner, which in this case was Asante Samuel Jr., and I know that's a corner, but if he would have had the opportunity to read and react and the lineman would have made Etienne hesitate a little bit, it would have been just enough to destroy the play. I prefer to get the pile moved as opposed to trying to break it that big. The third thing at this point about the play I didn't care for was they tried to run one play and then they just settled for the field goal. There was time on the clock. I didn't love it. We don't have the greatest kicker in the world. He hasn't been exactly the most reliable kicker. We've gone for him on many a fourth down as a result of it. And so I didn't love the settling for it. I know that you're worried about maybe a fumble snap or something like that, but I don't think that the field goal was a given. I don't think it was an automatic thing. Thankfully, he made it, but he just barely hooked it in. So I needed heart medicine for this one, man, because this one really got my heart going. Again, all the feels, great win, and I'm looking forward to the game against Kansas City. I did predict Kansas City would beat us, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm being honest. I don't believe, man. I'm at odds, right? Because after a win like that, it's hard to be like, we're gonna go in and lose, right? But I'm trying to be objective. I think Kansas City wins, but I'm starting to think of scenarios where we could pull this out, and this is one I would love to be wrong about. But Andy Reid, off a bye. When you start thinking about how can we pull this out, I think we can score with them. They don't have the greatest defense, and our defense has really started to come into their own as of late. So now the problem is, that is Kansas City that we're playing. And, while the defense has come up big of late, it's kind of late in games. Like we're not starting well on defense as opposed to finishing well. I think we've done a great job of going in the half and making the adjustments that we need to make. That's awesome. But I just wish we would start games that way. And so, if we can figure that out, I hope for an upset. You have no idea how much I want it. But that's all I got this time, guys. Definitely hit your boy up in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate all the love. And definitely, everybody, please hit me up with the Go Jags. Load up the comment section. All right. Appreciate y'all. Peace.